Good morning. Today's meeting of the Board of Supervisors for the University of Louisiana System is now called to order. Carol, if you would please call the roll.
Mr. Barry Busada.
Here.
Mr. Steve Davison.
Here.
Mr. Lee Jackson. Dr. Joe Leatherman.
Present.
Mr. Keith Myers. Ms. Maria Nechaeva. Dr. John Noble. Mr. Al Perkins. Mr. Dana Peterson. Ms. Elizabeth Pierre.
Present.
Mr. Mark Romero.
Here.
Ms. Christine Russell. Mr. Robert Salim. Mr. Brad Stevens. Ms. Julie Stokes. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Carol. We'll start today with our invocation and pledge. If I would, Dr. Gallo would please lead us in our invocation this morning. And if we would, Ms. Christine Russell will lead us in the pledge.
You bow with me. Lord, we just thank you for today. Lord, we lift up right now the Salter family as they continue to mourn the loss of Brother Joe Salter, our former member. Lord, please comfort them in the way that only you can. Lord, right now we just thank you for all of us coming together to do the business of the University of Louisiana System today. Lord, be with us while we're here and afterwards on our respective journeys back to our homes. Lord, please forgive us where we have disappointed you and failed you, Lord. We just thank you right now for being a forgiving God. And we just ask that you be with us today as we do the business of the system. Lord, all this we ask in your Son, Jesus' name.
Amen.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and
We have minutes from our June 26th regular meeting and July 30th special meetings. Assuming all of you have reviewed them, if I could have someone provide a motion in a second. Moved by Dr. Noble, second by Supervisor Pierre. Any questions, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. With the exception of our grievance committee, we're going to meet as a committee of the whole, and ultimately we'll need a motion and a second to conduct our business in this manner. Moved by Supervisor Davison, second by Supervisor Leatherman. Any questions? All in favor? Thank you all. Dr. Leatherman, if you would please lead the grievance committee this time.
Thank you. The Grievance Committee met earlier, and after careful review of the process used by Northwestern State University, the committee recommended that the grievance filed by Mr. Maurice Campbell be denied. Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to accept the recommendation of the committee.
We have a motion by Dr. Leatherman, second by Supervisor Davison. Any further discussion? Any comments from the public? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. That concludes the business of the Grievance Committee. Thank you, Dr. Leatherman, for your leadership. Ms. Pierre will now lead us in academic and student affairs.
We have 5 action items on the Academic and Student Affairs Committee agenda, along with 1 informational item under other business. Dr. Janine O'Rourke, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, will provide the report. Dr. O'Rourke.
Yes. Oh, can you hear me? No? Yes. Good. First one started. Testing, testing. That one good? All right. Well, good morning. Thank you, Supervisor Pierre, Chair O'Mara, President Gallo, members of the board. We do have 5 items for your action this morning and 1 informational item just to report out under other business. Item E1 is a request from the University of Louisiana at Lafayette to offer a Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences. The proposed program will provide a 12-month non-thesis master's to professional medical bridge program, as well as an 18 to 24-month thesis-based MS in biomedicine. This graduate program has been created to address the needs of the healthcare industry that we're all very familiar with, as well as to support significant initiatives underway at the new Iberia Research Center and Progress Point that will require individuals with graduate education and research backgrounds in the biomedical space. Agenda item E2 is a request from the University of Louisiana at Monroe to establish a collaborative academic program with the Edward Via College of Osteopathic Medicine located in Monroe. The proposed collaborative agreement will establish a pre-medical graduate pathway through ULM's MS in Biology to VCOM's Doctorate in Osteopathic Medicine. At this time, I would like to invite ULM's President and Interim Provost to the table to provide you with some information about this very exciting partnership.
How's this? Good morning. So we're really excited to share this opportunity and what I consider one of what we see as many partnerships with VCOM. VCOM is right on our campus. They have been a great partner since I've started, and we've had early conversations with Dr. Dixie Rollins and Dr. Ray Morrison, about opportunities for us to be able to partner throughout our entire campus. So this is the result of those conversations. So we're looking at a biomedical concentration within the Master of Science in Biology program. As was mentioned, the hope is really kind of a direct pathway to VCOM admission. So if a student has an acceptable GPA and goes through the interview process, then they have favorable admissions into VCOM. And we worked with them on that language to make sure that we provided that structure and that students are working towards those goals. It'll be co-taught with faculty from both ULM and VCOM. We're looking at shared infrastructure when necessary, so modern classroom spaces. Also, VCOM has a state-of-the-art simulation center that we hope to be able to utilize and strengthen. And then faculty offices for mentoring and collaboration. And we're also going to co-brand it and co-advertise. So working together, VCOM, we want to make sure that it's seamless and it's viewed as a seamless partnership. So co-branding this and co-advertising as we advertise to students throughout the region and throughout the state. And then, of course, I think the last thing is we all know about the workforce demands, particularly around healthcare. And this is an opportunity for us to be able to strengthen those workforce demands and be able to work with our community. So really, really proud of the partnership and the relationship. Again, I think it's the first of many. And look forward to answering any questions should you have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just a comment real quick. Thank you for fortifying the relationship with VCOM. I recognize the long-term viability of their ability to support the healthcare needs of our rural communities, and what a great move to really kind of intertwine y'all's relationships to further the success between the two of you. Thank you.
We'll move along to agenda item E3. And this is a request for approval of a revision to Board Bylaw Chapter 1 Academics, Section 5, new degree program request. An email was sent to board members at the latter part of June in order to respect the 30-day layover for consideration. This proposed revision is just a simple one. It removes the letter of intent from the new degree program approval process. This step in the process is no longer required by the Board of Regents, and so we're changing, we would like to align our policy, the board's policy, with current practice. Agenda item E4 is the board's annual consideration of promotion in faculty rank and awarding of tenure. This year, 114 faculty members were recommended for promotion in rank, with 93 recommended for tenure. All requests were approved and reviewed by the UL system staff and were determined to be in line with system policies. And agenda item E5, which is your final action item for consideration, is approval of academic years 2025 through 2028 academic planning documents from our 9-member institutions. In 2022, the Louisiana Board of Regents implemented a comprehensive 3-year planning process for all 2- and 4-year public institutions. The master list of proposed programs provided to you has been reviewed by and discussed among our 9 chief academic officers, as well with lengthy conversations with Regent staff in advance of presenting this master list to you today. Each chief academic officer will come and join me at the testimony table to present briefly on academic programs that will be presented over the course of the next year, just year 1. On your screen, you'll see the list, a comprehensive list of years 1 through 3, but we'll just touch on year 1 so you know what's going to be coming down the pike over the next academic year. And at this time, we'll start with Grambling State University. So I would welcome Dr. Walton to the table.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you. Have the awesome pleasure to work with a phenomenal provost, Dr. Connie Walton, a chemist at heart, a board member of SAC CLC, and our provost. And so we'll present our plan today. Recently in July, you approved our new research foundation. And so as we think about the future for Grambling State University, developing more programs at the master's and doctoral level is very important. So with that, Dr. Walton.
Okay. Good morning. So we're excited about the degree programs that we've identified for implementation, I guess approval and implementation over the next few years. So for year 1, this year, we're focusing on our DNP program. So in 2018, one of the accrediting bodies indicated that there was a need to transition from the master's level training for nurse practitioners and go to the doctoral program. So this particular program is going to address needs in the healthcare area, as well as train professionals that will be ready to teach at the university level, teaching programs. So this is the program that we will be seeking approval this year. Then in 2026-27, we're building up on the success of our leisure studies program that's housed in kinesiology. And we will be seeking approval to offer a BS in Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Facilities Management. By surveying students and other stakeholders, we found that there was a need to actually graduate students who are trained to manage these various areas. To address the workforce needs in cybersecurity in 2026-27, we will be seeking approval of a master's degree in advanced cybersecurity. 27-28, a master's in college counseling and student affairs is going to be 100% online. This will be an initial licensure program. It's going to be unique in that it's focusing on not K through 12, which a lot of counseling programs do, but our program will focus on college students and equipping individuals with the skills that they need to successfully navigate the college environment and prepare students for being successful. 27-28, the PhD in Interdisciplinary Studies and Mental Health Service Provision. This is going to be a program in which social work, development ed will collaborate on actually training those individuals who are already licensed to give them the skills to actually, yes, have an integrated approach, working with a variety of stakeholders in managing the mental health of individuals. These are our programs. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
I do have a question. I'm sorry, if I may. I'm just curious about your DNP program. So is it going to be a BSN to DNP track, or are you only enrolling practicing nurse practitioners who already have their masters?
So we will also have a BS to DNP track, right? So we'll be enrolling both sets.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wall.
Thank you.
President Lamel. Louisiana Tech University. And as Dr. Thomas comes to the table, these are just overviews of program concept. Of course, the full proposal, when they're ready, will be vetted by staff and then presented to the board at the appropriate time. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. O'Rourke. So Louisiana Tech has submitted its academic plan for the 3-year period. And Dr. O'Rourke has asked me this morning to focus on the first-year programs, so I will go over those. We are in 25-26 intending to propose a Master of Science in Counseling Psychology. We actually have a PhD program already in counseling psychology, so this is sort of an extension of that. It is one way that we intend to help recruit for the doctoral program, which has been very successful and has a very good completion rate for its students, and also provide the state with more mental health counselors, licensed professional counselors to serve the underserved area of the state. And the next two that we have for the first year of 25-26 are actually degree changes, but we put them here out of an abundance of caution. We just wanted to be sure that you were aware that these are occurring. We currently have a Bachelor of Arts in Pre-Professional Speech Language Pathology and Audiology and a Master of Arts in Speech Language Pathology. We are changing both of these to science degrees, a BS and an MS, to better fit the standard in higher education for programs that are across the state and across the nation. That is just the standard. These programs actually recently moved in a realignment of our academic colleges to the College of Applied and Natural Sciences. And during that move, it was just recognized that it's a much better fit and more appropriate for these to be Bachelor and Master of Science rather than arts. Any questions or comments?
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you.
Now for McNeese, Dr. Buckles is in the audience, but he won't be coming to the testimony table. If you can switch the, thank you. So for McNeese, they won't be presenting any programs to you all in the next 2 cycles, next year 1 and year 2. You can see the programs that they'll be considering in year 3 when that time comes. So he has nothing to present for year 1, and so we'll move on. The same can be said for Nichols. They have a program that they'll be pursuing in year 3, the BS in Information Technology, but there's not a program being proposed for year 1, so there's nothing to present. Moving along to Northwestern State University, Dr. Honda will go over the programs for year 1 that you'll be seeing over the next 12 months, within the next 12 months.
Good morning, and we appreciate the opportunity to talk about our academic programs. Northwestern State, in this upcoming academic year, is proposing 2 graduate programs, a Master of Business Administration and a Master of Healthcare Administration. For years, we have been urged by our academic advisory councils and business and industry in the region to develop the Master of Business Administration, and that has been ongoing. And recently this year, we were approached by Natchitoches Regional Medical Center, as well as our partners in Shreveport and Cenla, Alexandria specifically, about the possibility of developing the MHA. And these 2 graduate degrees pair nicely with one another, even though they are separate degrees and will be separate tracks. They both have potential for a lot of interdisciplinary crossover. And everybody who is part of this planning process, now that we brought the healthcare sector and the business side into the conversations, is really excited about the possibilities and the development of specific tracks within both of those degrees. We're also very excited that there's a possibility of developing more 4+1 agreements, a bachelor's plus a master's, allowing undergraduate students to take up to 12 hours during their upper standing to transition into the master's and finish those programs several months in advance and earlier than they would in a typical program. So those are our 2 programs on which we will be focusing this year.
Questions for Dr. Hondo? Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we'll move along to Southeastern. We have our newest provost, Eric Skipper, that joined the institution. You all approved him in June, and he began shortly thereafter. So this is his first indoctrination.
Good morning, Chairman Romero, President Gallo, members of the board. It's my honor to introduce to you Southeastern's new Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Eric Skipper. He comes to us from the University of South Carolina, Beaufort campus, and prior to that, has held many administrative roles and faculty leadership roles as full professor. He has hit the ground running, and joining us, we have two of our deans, Dr. Teray Lopez, Dean of our College of Business, as well as Dr. Jeff Wright, Dean of our College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. So before I turn it over to Dr. Skipper to review our academic planning, I do want to share with you all that we have spent some time recently celebrating Dr. Golding, who has retired as our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs after 43 years of service at Southeastern, and she was recently awarded her Professor Emeritus recognition as well as Provost Emerita. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Skipper.
Thank you, President Wainwright. It's a great opportunity, a great pleasure to be here working for Southeastern University, and an easy decision to make when you see what a great position the university's in, but also the great work that the system is doing. And I thank you, Provost and Work, for your guidance to get us to this point with the academic program. So we have two baccalaureate degree programs to talk about today, a BA in Music and the BS in Integrated Business and Technology. So first, the BA in Music is for students who wish to study and pursue their passion for music, but do not necessarily seek careers as music performers or educators. This degree is a liberal arts qualification adhering to National Association of Schools of Music, that's NASM guidelines of 30 to 45% music content. This reduction in required music content as compared to the Bachelor of Music degree will allow students the flexibility to select a minor and have free electives to pursue a secondary area of study. Many companies, tech and otherwise, now seek employees who have not only the technical expertise, but also the ability to think creatively, to build problem-solving skills, and to achieve job market resilience. And this degree program would provide all that. Intended modality is on campus. The faculty have identified a strong need for this degree. The increasing number of students who wish to pursue a music education degree, but want to combine it with other areas of study is increasing, and this degree would allow that. So this program is built from our existing Bachelor of Music program and will utilize current faculty, and also will not require any new facilities to deliver the program. And joining me is Dr. Jeff Wright, as President Wainwright mentioned, Dean of our College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, and also a musicologist. The other degree program is the BS in Integrated Business and Technology. As the name indicates, this program is intended for those who want to be at the forefront of both business and technology. And the proposed modality for this program is hybrid and online. 2 accreditations are required, AACSB and ABET, and the program will live in the College of Business. Louisiana Workforce Commission 5-star level related occupations include computer and information system managers, computer systems analysts, network and computer system administrators, and so forth. And in terms of industry partner engagement, which I know is important to everybody in the room, our faculty have worked directly with the healthcare system that has requested this degree for their IT and other technical staff solutions. It's a truly interdisciplinary degree program built with curriculum from the Bachelor of Music Administration, the BS in Computer Science, and the BS in Information Technology degrees. This program, like the BA in Music, will rely on existing faculty in the short term. Additional faculty will only be needed if demand exceeds present resources, and similarly, existing facilities will be required to deliver the program. And joining me today, as President Wainwright mentioned, is Dr. Teray Lopez, Dean of our College of Business. So welcome any questions.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move along to University of Louisiana at Lafayette with Interim Provost Olivier.
Chair Romero, President Gallo, I'm delighted to introduce you this morning to our interim provost and vice president, Dr. Diane Olivier. Diane has been with the university since 2007. After an illustrious career in secondary education. She joined our faculty as a professor of educational leadership. She served in a number of different roles at the university, including Associate Dean for the College of Education and Human Development, and most recently served 3 years as my Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs and Faculty Development. I'm delighted to introduce her, and I'm going to turn over to her.
Thank you
the
very
table.
much, Dr. Adair. And good morning to everyone, President Gallo, Chair Romero, and all of our board members. I am very pleased to be here today and to start this new journey. As you've heard from Dr. Adair, I've been around for a while in education. I am a teacher at heart, but I've spent the majority of my time in leadership roles, and I love the idea of new ventures, and this is what we're going to be sharing with you today. While we have 15 new programs over the next 3 years, we're going to focus on the 2 that we are rolling out with year 1, and both of those are graduate degrees. The first one is the master's in interior design, and this is an architectural interior design program, a program in which the skills will be focused on renovations, buildings, major buildings. We are, of course, going to align with the accreditation from the Council for Interior Design and Architecture. We've been consulting with an Interior Design Advisory Board. This program is being developed and following a successful undergraduate program in interior design. It is fully online, thus not requiring any additional space. It is a professional program, and it will actually be the only public university in the nation to provide a fully online professional degree in interior design. The second program is one that we're very excited about too, and it's a PhD in counseling. So the goal of this program is to prepare our professionals trained in the areas of teaching, counseling, supervision, leadership and advocacy, and research. We want to have multiple opportunities where, coming out of that program, we will have individuals who are health counselors, food counselors, counselor educators. They'll focus on providing mental health therapy for individuals, couples, families. That'll be our program. It is 100% face-to-face on campus. This program will adhere to CACREP accreditation. We have a very, very strong master's in counseling program, and we have students who are so ready to enter the PhD program. I'm going to keep my comments very brief because of the length of the agenda, just focusing on the 2, but we are happy to address any specific questions that you have. Any questions? Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll call up University of Louisiana Monroe for a second time this morning for interim provost.
Thank you, Provost O'Rourke and board members. I'm happy to be here this morning and give you a little bit of information about the programs that we have on our academic plan. The 2 included on the screen in front of you include the MA in Human Resources that was already approved at the last board meeting. However, we need to run it back through the plan in order to get it on to the next step. So that's why that one's there. I won't spend much time on that. We do have also the MS in Computer Science that we are proposing at this meeting. The MS in Computer Science was really developed as a result of demand and communications that we heard about the need for this program. As we received those communications and we looked at that demand, it was apparent that we needed to move forward on this. For example, each semester we get hundreds of requests through our admissions office about a program such as this. In one spring semester alone, we had over 350 calls to the office asking if we had a Master's of Science in Computer Science. So we are bringing that forward. In addition to that demand that we've heard about from students, from the community for this program, you also have to remember where we are in terms of Monroe, Louisiana, the new Meta facility, and any other types of institutions and facilities that are going to result from that build out that's coming in the future few years. So we're really expecting the need even more for this program. Job outlook undoubtedly is very strong, reaching 20-25% increases is if you start looking at
statewide and nationally in terms of these skills. This program will be just a little bit different than some of the other master's programs. It is a Master's of Science in Computer Science focused on software development specifically. Included in that is we want to make sure that the latest programming languages and tools are being included in that curriculum, artificial intelligence, and then algorithm design. That's going to be the focus of that program. We're very excited about it. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Any questions? And rounding out the list is the University of New Orleans. Due to the transition that's currently underway in preparing from the movement from one management board to the other, the university will not be pursuing a program this coming year or this current year. They will be looking at a BS in data science for year 2. And that concludes the presentation. Thank you for listening. We thought it very important for you all to understand the work that's going on at our member institutions in the academic space. And as you can imagine, all of these programs, as the various provosts reported out, are in response to demand, to need in order to present programs that are necessary in the region that the institution serves, as well as the state of Louisiana. Under other business, I just wanted to make you all aware that we have made a change in policy regarding endowed chairs. This does not require board action as it's a policy, not a bylaw. Current policy calls for, in the offer letter to an endowed chair, a limit of 3 years for the appointment with a possible reappointment. Researching that, we couldn't figure out why, and Board of Regents policy that oversees endowed chairs does not stipulate that. Since the purpose of an endowed chair is for faculty recruitment and retention, our CAOs thought that it was kind of a restriction and counterproductive to have that 3-year limit and requested language be changed. So we had a long conversation about that. The 3-year requirement stipulated in the offer letter to an endowed chair has been removed, and language was added, tweaked a little bit to ensure that our member institutions require a regular review throughout the appointment to confirm that there is continued performance and productivity by that individual. And all of this, as I mentioned, is in line with Board of Regents policy. So with that, Supervisor Pierre, that concludes all agenda items.
Okay, thank you, Dr. O'Rourke, and thank you to all the provosts who made presentations today. If no one requires further clarification, I'd like to recommend approval of items E1 through E5. May I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Moved by Supervisor Posada,
Noble.
second by Supervisor Davison. All those in favor? If aye, any opposed? Nay? Not nay for me. Is there any other business to come before this committee at this time?
Just one thing, Madam Chair. We just want to recognize and thank Dr. O'Rourke for sacrificing and spending her birthday with us today for board meeting.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dr. O'Rourke.
And people have asked, what are you doing for your birthday? I'm like, well, I get to go to a board meeting. But no, thank you all. It's my pleasure to work for you guys and for our member institutions. So it's not it's a wonderful service and a nice way to serve, enjoy my birthday. So thank you all.
All right, Mr. Chairman, that completes the business of this committee.
Thank you, Supervisor Pierre. Dr. Noble will provide leadership for the athletic committee today.
We have 9 action items on the athletic committee agenda. Mr. Bruce Yane, Executive Director of Facilities, Risk Management, and Athletics will provide the report. Mr. Yane.
Thank you so much, Dr. Noble. As far as consent items, the campus are requesting approval of the following contract amendments. Item F1 from Grambling, contract with Patrick Crary, the second head men's basketball coach. Item F2 from Louisiana Tech, contract for associate assistant track and field coaches George Clare and Holly McClintock. Item F3 from Louisiana Tech, contract for assistant baseball coaches Matt Miller, Jake Well, and Cooper Fowler. Item F4, Nichols requesting approval of contract with Tevon Sadler, men's basketball coach. Item F5 from Northwestern, contract amendment with Christopher Bertrand, head baseball coach. Item F6 from Southeastern, requesting approval for a contract with Lawrence Elaine, head golf coach. Item F7 from Southeastern, request approval of contract with the following assistant coaches: Alana Freeman, assistant softball coach; Catherine Godwin, assistant softball coach; Reagan Bowden, assistant women's basketball coach; Deanna Keys, assistant women's basketball coach; Evan Bush, assistant baseball coach; Taylor Dugas, assistant baseball coach; and Spencer Godwin, also assistant baseball coach. And finally, items F8 through F9 come from University of New Orleans. Approval of contract with Benjamin Gibson, head men's baseball coach, and Bertha Kingdom, head tennis coach. Those are all the items I have, Dr. Noble.
Thank you for the presentation. If no one requires further clarification, I'd like to recommend approval of items F1 through F9. May I have a motion and a second? Motion by Supervisor Russell, second by Supervisor Myers. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Any comments from the public? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? The motion is approved. Is there any other business to come before this committee at this time? The next items to be considered are audit.
Thank you, Dr. Noble. We'll take just a moment, Dr. Gallo, before proceeding to the audit committee to introduce a new member of your staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, we announced recently that we would be employing a chief audit executive for the system. Fortunate to have with us today Mr. Fernando Cordova, who has been secured as our chief audit executive. So he began his responsibilities on July 28th and is here to present his first report to the audit committee. So you all be kind to him in his first time at bat. So with that, we would turn it over to Mr. Cordova.
Thank you very much, President Gallo, and good morning to all, Chairman Romero and the members of the Board of Supervisors. I'm humbled and extremely grateful for the opportunity to serve in this capacity as Chief Audit Executive for the UL system. My goal is to strengthen the system's ability to create, protect, and sustain value by providing you and management with independent, risk-based, objective assurance, advice, insight, and foresight. I look forward to working with and assisting you in your oversight role. Going forward, please let me know how my office can be of assistance. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Fernando. And at this time, Chair Busada will lead the audit committee.
We have two items on the audit committee agenda today. One is a consent item. The other one is a discussion item. Mr. Fernando Cordova will provide a brief overview.
Thank you, Supervisor Busada. Item G1 is a consent item for the University of Louisiana system, approval of the board operations and University of Louisiana system institutions, fiscal year 2025-2026 internal audit plans. These plans were prepared in accordance with the internal audit charter for the University of Louisiana system. The audit plans have been prepared by the University of Louisiana System Chief Audit Executive and the institution's internal audit directors, with input from the campus presidents, campus administrative personnel, and the board.
This agenda item has been reviewed by staff and is recommended for approval. If any member has a question or wishes to discuss this item, please let me know. Are there any questions, comments from the board, any comments from the public? If no one has any further clarification of this consent item agenda, may I have a motion and a second for approval of item G1? Liz, move. And Steve Davison, second. There's no discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Fernando, now you will read for discussion purposes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Brusada. Item G2 is a discussion item for the University of Louisiana System. Report on internal and external audit activity for the period of June 7th to August 7th, 2025. Last week, each board member received a listing of internal and external reports completed by various auditors since the last board meeting. Also included in that audit summary are internal audits that are currently in progress and a follow-up timetable to ensure recommendations made in prior reports are implemented. In addition, our internal audit charter requires that we make certain assertions to the board annually. These assertions were detailed in the executive summary that each of you received. Based on responses from the University of Louisiana System CAE and the institution's internal audit directors, we report there was concurrence with each assertion for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. This is a report only, and no action by the board is necessary. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other business at this time? If not, that concludes the business of the audit committee. The next committee is facilities planning.
Thank you, Supervisor Basada. Chair Davidson will address the facilities planning agenda.
Thanks. We have 11 action items on the Facilities Planning Committee agenda. Mr. Bruce Janay, Executive Director of Facilities, Risk Management, and Athletics, will provide the report.
Thank you so much, Supervisor Davidson. For the campuses that are requesting a name approval, that they have submitted appropriate justification as required by our board rule. Campuses are requesting approval of the following consent items. H1 Magniques request to provide naming rights to a gift agreement with Townley Law Firm, the Magnique State University Foundation, and authorize President Wade Bruce to approve the final version of the term. Item H2, Nichols enter into a ground lease with the Nicholls State University Foundation for exterior renovation and DDA baseball complex. The project cost is approximately $80,000. The lease will terminate on January 30, 2026 or upon completion. H3 from Nichols enter into a ground lease with the Nicholls State University Foundation for interior renovation in the Century Room, which is located at Donnell Hickory State. Project cost is approximately $300,000. Lease will terminate on August 28, 2027 or upon completion. H4, Northwestern also entered into a ground lease with the Stevens Unlimited Foundation for the addition of foul post to the Lady Demon Dining. Project cost is $8,000. Lease will terminate November 1st, 2025 or upon completion. H5 from Northwestern also requesting approval to enter into a ground lease agreement with the Demons Unlimited Foundation for the replacement of the scoreboard, the Lady Demon Diamond. Project cost approximately $245,000. Current terms, the lease will terminate on March 1st, 2026 or upon completion. Finally, H6 from Northwestern on a ground lease with the Demons Unlimited Foundation for replacement of the scoreboard at Walter LeJay Field and Track Complex. Project cost approximately $245,000, with the lease terminating on March 1st, 2026 or upon completion. H7 Northwestern requesting approval to name a room in the Sylvan Freeman Student Union Dean Leonard O. Nichols Blue Key Honor Society Room. H8 from Northwestern named the percussion studio for the new Fine Arts Building, Kenneth H. Green Percussion Studio. Item H9, University of Louisiana at Lafayette, requesting approval to name the Pecan Island School Lot to Peter M. John, David M. John Wildlife and Coastal Preservation Center. H10, University of Louisiana at Lafayette, Approval to accept a donation of removal property located at 210 East St. Mary Boulevard from the Range Education Facility. Property consists of a parcel of land along with all buildings and improvements. Item H11, Universal Louisiana System request for approval of fiscal year 26-27 capital outlay budget request and the institution's 5-year capital outlay plan. These plans have been submitted by each president after discussion with their staff to determine capital outlay needs for the next 5 years. And each of you had access to these files, which were placed on board for this meeting. Then in this time, I would like to go over the PowerPoint presentation that is up on the screen to give you a sampling of the project that campuses have been working on since our 2024 meeting. Okay, so for UL system, we're going to submit a request, and it's for first year projects to the Board of Regents for approval. Campuses have submitted 75 projects, totaling approximately $318 million. And then I've outlined different capital outlay approval today. Today, if the board approves this plan, it will go to the Board of Regents, and the Regents have final approval. And then it's due to Office of Facility Planning and Control by November 1st. And then the legislature, spring of 26, will consider these items. I've also have on the board, and I think I've notified each of you of all of our campus visits for this year. And as I receive additional details of where the meetings will be located, I will be sending it to you. And this is a good opportunity to come out and tour the campus and see, just see what all is going on. So anytime you can attend the campus tour, we would definitely appreciate it. At Grambling, replacement of skylights with a new roof and makeshift negative roof repair. This project was completed in March of 2025. Grambling campus infrastructure, resiliency, and improvement. Materials have been ordered, and the project is expected to begin construction during the summer of this year. At Keck, renovation of George T. Madison Hall should be ready for bid for the fall of 2025. Grambling, Wiley Tower, Prescott Memorial Library, emergency waterproofing and restoration should be ready for bid January 2026. McNeese locker room, weight room renovation. Work has been completed. The building was opened June 2025. Out of funds from McNeese disaster recovery, we were able to provide $2 million with University King Bookstore. Also, we had some funds to take care of other projects at McNeese. At Nichols, we received funds to do the AO pool demolition, which was used to renovate the bridge in the tennis program. That project was completed January 2025. At Nichols, we received some Hurricane Ida money, and we used that part of it to do Go Hall interior painting, and that project is being completed this month. At Northwestern, completion of A-Lot Hall this month. Also at Northwestern, Health Performance Center, and anticipated phase 1 completion February 2026. Phase 2 completion anticipated September 2026. At Southeastern, the North Oak Health System, Academic Complex, Duke Hospital Recreation, anticipated completion is 2027, $25 million project. D. Vickers Hall, Roberts Broadcast Media Center, or Central Classroom Building Renovation Expansion, completed fall of 2025. University of Louisiana at Lafayette, Madison Hall renovation and addition, estimated completion is 2027. Also, at University of Louisiana Lafayette, engineering classroom will be a brand new building estimated for completion 2027. At ULM, the Health Sciences Complex renovation to Sugar Hall, construction should be completed by June of 2026. Also, University of Louisiana School of Construction Practice Lab plan to start construction in February of 2026. At the University of New Orleans, completed their science laboratory renovation this month. And then a project that was very much needed, AD accessibility to the engineering catalog. That project was completed in January of 2025. And these are all of the consent items. President and staff are all in the audience, as well as the outside legal counsel, should the board have any specific questions. Those are all the items I have, Supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Does anyone on the board have, require further clarification on any of these items? If not, I would like to recommend approval of items H1 through H11. May I have a motion and a second? So moved by Dr. Leatherman, second by Supervisor Salim. Any other questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Motion is approved.
Thank you, Supervisor. Thank you.
Is there any other business to come before this committee? All right, next should be finance.
Thank you, Steve. Mr. Busada will lead the Finance Committee.
We have 6 action items on the Finance Committee agenda. Mr. Eddie Mesh, Vice President for Business and Finance, will provide the report. Mr. Mesh.
Thank you, Mr. Sada. Item I1, Grambling State University's request for initial approval from the board to seek an HBCU capital financing loan up to the amount of $75 million to construct a campus facility. Grambling State University is applying for federal funding pursuant to HBCU capital financing program. The loan amount would be up to $75 million, and the funds will be used to construct a 300-bed mixed-use residential facility, a campus dining and student union facility, a cyber security building, and for deferred maintenance. HBCU provides loans to HBCU universities at favorable rates. Grambling is debt-free, has a stream of auxiliary funds that will be available as security for the HBCU loan. Grambling is now requesting approval to proceed and will return to the board with the final loan package for approval to enter into the loan and proceed with the project. Grambling is now requesting permission to proceed with the application for federal funding from the HBCU Capital Financing Program up to the amount of $75 million and be authorized to retain Foley and Udell as special bond counsel for the HBCU loan project. They would also request to use FPNC to oversee construction. I2, McNeese State University's request for approval to assess a $2,500 program fee for the McNeese Prime program. McNeese Prime, a comprehensive transition program, or CTP, was carefully developed in response to a critical need within the university's 5-parish region. Students diagnosed with intellectual disability and other related diagnoses were graduating from high school without viable opportunities to pursue post-secondary education. McNeese Prime has been formally approved as a CTP by the United States Department of Education. This designation allows students enrolled in the program to apply for federal financial aid. Additionally, Louisiana Rehab Services, LRS, provides financial support to cover the cost of attendance for CTP students after accounting for other aid for the students. Students who are accepted into the Prime will complete 2-year non-degree seeking program. Students will audit university coursework, complete Prime-specific coursework, complete supervised internships, participate in campus life along alongside their peers. The aim of this program is to give Maintenance Prime students the tools they need to live as independently as possible while enriching their personal and educational development through a college-based experience. To ensure Maintenance Prime remains viable and capable of delivering its mission, Maintenance requests board approval for the university to assess Prime students a program fee of $2,500 per semester. The generated revenue would be used to cover costs associated with operating Prime, such as staff salaries, curriculum development, and other essential operations. I3, Nicholls State University requests for approval to establish the Betty Escalante Memorial First Generation Endowed Undergraduate Scholarship for STEM students. In 1989, the Louisiana legislature created Louisiana Education Quality Support Fund, referred to as 8G, which provides for multiple $20,000, $40,000, $400,000 grants to be awarded upon receipt of $80,000, $60,000, or $600,000 in private donations for establishment of endowed professorships, first-generation scholarships, graduate scholarships, and endowed chairs, respectively. The law further requires that the appropriate management board authorize the establishment of such endowments prior to submission to the Board of Regents for management funds. Nicholls State University requests the board to create the Betty Escalante Memorial First Generation Endowed Undergraduate Scholarship for STEM students. I4, University of Louisiana at Monroe's request for approval for a revenue generating agreement for comprehensive multimedia rights and sports marketing with Van Wagner Sports and Entertainment, LLC. The University of Louisiana at Monroe is requesting board approval to enter into a revenue generating agreement for comprehensive multimedia rights, sports marketing with Van Wagner Sports Entertainment, LLC. Under the agreement, Van Wagner shall provide ULM's athletic department comprehensive multimedia rights and sports marketing services to establish an exclusive marketing partnership that will enhance the university's mission and presence, strengthen the university's brand presence in the corporate, strengthen the media partnerships available to ULM, enter long-term corporate partnership relationships, and generate revenue for ULM and its athletic program. Consideration of the exclusive multimedia rights for the term of the agreement, Van Wagner agrees to pay ULM guaranteed amount annual rights fee for a specific year during the 10-year term, plus a revenue share of gross revenues in excess of threshold gross revenue. The guaranteed annual rights fee will begin at $640,000 annually and increase by $5,000 per year. For the revenue share, ULM would receive 55% of gross revenues above annual gross revenue threshold established in the agreement. The term of the agreement is August 1st, 25 through August 30th, 2035. I5, University of New Orleans request for approval of a memorandum of understanding with the 18th Ward nonprofit organization to provide youth sports programming and facility support on the UNO campus. The University of New Orleans requests approval of a memorandum of understanding with the 18th Ward, a nonprofit dedicated to affordable youth sports programming and workforce development. The partnership is designed to strengthen community engagement by bringing families to the campus while expanding access to athletic opportunities for New Orleans youth. Under the terms of the MOU, the 18th Ward will deliver seasonal sports program between August 25th, 25 and July 31, 2026. Activities will include basketball, futsal, soccer, swimming, tennis, and baseball, with UNO compensating the 18th Ward at a rate of $120 per child. This cost includes for uniforms, trained coaches, and for program delivery. The agreement is supported by state appropriation of $1,950,000 designated for UNO for recreational youth sports partnerships with community partners. These funds will support both programming and renovations to the UNO athletic facilities. This partnership aligns with UNO's mission to build stronger community connections and provide youth with opportunities to develop life skills. I6, University of Louisiana Systems request for approval of fiscal year 25-26 operating budgets, including organizational charts, undergraduate mandatory attendance fees, scholarships, and system shared costs. Like to. Annually, as part of the budget process, institutions submit their budget information to the system, including their operating budget revenues and expenditures, mandatory attendance fees, employee information, scholarships, and other information. The system compiles the budget information to create the University of Louisiana budget summary. This slide shows the system's budget summary, which reflects budget revenues. State appropriations include state general funds, statutory dedicated revenue, and non-recurring line item appropriation. For this year, state appropriation to the system totals $338 million, which is a decrease of $9.4 million from last year. The decrease is mostly a result of decreased non-recurring appropriations from 2025. System institutions were appropriated $31 million of HB1 line item appropriations this year. Most notable appropriations to the system include $15 million of state general funds, plus $5 million of statutory dedicated funds for UNO, $4.5 million of state general funds for ULM. In addition, Act 461 appropriated $22 million to UL system institutions. Most notable appropriations were $6.9 million at Grambling, $4.7 million. The system is grateful to the governor and the legislature for these additional funds, which are needed by us. Campuses increased their budgeted self-generated revenues by approximately $18 million over last year. This increase was for 790 tuition fees. It should be noted that the budgeted self-generated revenues represent budget authority, not necessarily actual self-generated revenue. Campuses have estimated increases would generate approximately $45 million annually. However, some of the increases were within the existing budget. On the expenditure side, budget allocations for expenditures remain relatively stable when compared to FY25. Budgeted expenditures increased by less than 1%. The most notable increase was to other charges, which increased by $4.1 million. This was mostly for scholarship and other student aid related to Act 79 tuition. This chart reflects the historical percentage comparison of self-generated revenue, state appropriations to total budget. With tuition increases and appropriation decreases, the relative percentage has changed slightly from last year. For FY26, self-generated revenue is now 67%. State appropriations are now 30%. Self-generated revenue increased by 1%, state funding increased by 1%. Total revenue has increased by $9 million from $1.023 billion to $1.32 billion, mostly from Act 79 tuition fee increases, offset by state appropriation. Budget self-generated revenue increased by $18 million over last year, but again, mostly from increases in budget authority for Act 79 tuition. 1.6. This chart shows $9.4 million decrease in state funds as well as trends. Average tuition and fees will increase this year as authorized by Act 79. Average tuition and fees for a full-time student increased by $560 for academic year, or about 6%, not include differential fees for high-cost programs. This pie chart shows expenditure percentage allocation. Personal services make up about 68% of the total budget, while other areas of the budget make up about 32%. Personal services were about 69%. Campuses also provided supplemental information about their budgets after excess budget authority has been removed. With Act 790 tuition and fee increases, campus operating budgets are in a better position to match actual operating funds revenues to expenditures, and there is less need to move operating fund expenditures to non-operating funds to balance the operating. Only one campus is projecting moving some operating fund expenditures this year. Campus has sufficient non-operating sources of funds. In addition, campuses provided supplemental information about athletics and auxiliary operations. Although some campuses projected improvement from last year, a majority of campuses continue to project current year deficits. When combined with cumulative deficits carried forward from prior years, projected current year deficits will make managing cash flows more challenging at some. This completes the presentation of the finance agenda, Mr. Prasad, and campus representatives are present to answer any campus-specific questions.
Thank you for your presentation. Does anyone have any questions or require any further clarification? I would like to go ahead and recommend approval of items I1 through I6. May I have a motion and a second? And have a second, Dr. Mulvey. Okay. Any questions from the board or from the public? Being none, I ask all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motions are approved. Is there any other business to come before this committee at this time? Being none, the next items to be considered are personnel.
Thank you, Barry. At this time, Chair Salim will present the Personnel Committee items.
We have 6 consent items on the Personnel Committee agenda. Ms. Keisha Neal, Director of Business and Financial Services, will provide the report. Ms. Neal?
Thank you, Mr. Salim. Good morning, Chair Romero, President Gallo, and board members. J1, Grambling State University's request for approval to appoint Dr. Kenyatta Schamberger as Chief Operating Officer effective July 28, 2025. J2, Grambling State University's request for approval to appoint Dr. Kayla Burrell Craft as Dean of the College of Education effective July 1st, 2025. J3, Grambling State University's request for approval to appoint Ms. Pena Moses as Vice President of Administration and Business Affairs effective June 1st, 2021. J4, Louisiana Tech University's request for approval to appoint Dr. Cheryl Shoemaker as Interim Dean of the Graduate School and Associate Vice President of Institutional Effectiveness effective July 14th, 2025. J5, University of Louisiana at Monroe's request for approval to appoint Dr. Gina Kraft as Interim Dean of the College of Pharmacy effective August 1st, 2025. J6, University of Louisiana at Monroe's request for approval to appoint Mr. Bryant Vincent as Interim Athletic Director and Head Football Coach effective August 5th, 2025. Mr. Salim, this concludes the consent items being considered today.
All right, thank you very much. If no one requires further clarification, I would like to recommend approval of items J1 and J6. May I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Davidson, seconded by Dr. Nobles. Are there any questions from the board? Any comments from the public? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is approved. If there's any other business to come before the committee at this time, please step forward. If not, the next item to be considered is the systems president's business.
Mr. Salim, we
Yeah.
have some introductions from Grambling State today.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Mr. President. The floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning again, everyone. One of my favorite things to do as a leader is to build great teams. That requires that you have an acute attention to detail and a really strong network of individuals who are committed to our mission and our vision. And so I'm pleased to have three individuals here with me today who have said yes to the call of service at Grambling State University. And I'm so proud that I get to do this work with them. And we'll start with Dr. Kenyatta Schamberger.
Good morning. Thank you, President Lamel. Good morning, Chair Romero, President Gallo, members of Board of Supervisors. I am Dr. Kenyatta Schamberger. I'm excited to join Grambling State University as Chief Operating Officer. Thank you for your approval and support this morning.
Good morning. I am Dr. Kayla Burrell Pratt. I'm originally from West Carroll Parish, northern part of the state. It's great to be back home, working at an institution that's so near and dear to my heart. My parents graduated Grambling, my grandfather graduated Grambling, so it's nice to be back with a team to help Grambling move forward. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Pena Moses, Vice President of Administration and Business Affairs. I'm certainly grateful to President Lamel as well as President Gallo for this opportunity to continue to serve in this capacity. When President Gallo contacted me in 2021, it was certainly a privilege to be back at Grambling State University because I'm no stranger to public service, which is extended back to 2003 with the City of New Orleans. So thank you for your approval today and for this opportunity to continue to serve with President Lamel.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Mr. President. It's so nice to have a president at Grambling now. That's much better than some of the past presidents we had at Grambling.
Much better.
Happy to do the work. Thank you all.
I like my president, the system, and glad he's here. So President Gallo, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Campus and system office personnel actions were provided to you previously. Some of the system office changes came as a result of our strategic plan. Staff has reviewed all of these requests and recommends approval. Mr. Chairman, we need a motion and second to approve these personnel changes.
Could I have a motion and second for personnel changes?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Noble, second by Dr. Pierre. Any discussion, any questions, any comments from the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. Next, we have the proposed revision to Board Bylaw Section 12, Board Self-Evaluation. This proposed revision was submitted for your review at the last regular board meeting. Feedback to this change was solicited and noted. At this time, we would need a motion and a second to approve this revision. And again, this is on the board self-evaluation.
We have a motion by Supervisor Salim, second by Supervisor Leatherman. Any discussion, any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approves.
And I want to thank all the board members. We had a 100% response rate on our board self-evaluation. So thank you all so much for your time and devoting to this. And of course, our universities and accrediting bodies and others will see the tremendous response of our board, and it will certainly reflect well on our campuses as well. Earlier this month, we had the President's Retreat. I certainly want to thank the presidents for taking time to attend. We had a great amount of not only information, but just the opportunity to spend time with one another. We had presentations from GOSEP, from the Board of Regents, COSERA, and others. I certainly want to thank, again, the presidents for taking the time to be a part of it, as well as our UL system staff for planning and executing on what I think was a very successful President's Retreat. Of course, we had a couple of losses close to our system. The passing of Ms. Linda Renaud, former First Lady of Louisiana Tech, as well as Board of Supervisor and former Speaker Joe Salter. So we certainly still keep both of those families lifted in prayer as they continue to adjust to life after the passing of these two incredible individuals. You'll recall at our last meeting, you approved the strategic plan. We've already begun forming teams within the system office to initiate the implementation of this process. And as you know, the plan depends on strong input and coordination from our campuses, and we look forward to advancing our goals together. In coming weeks, and I spoke with the presidents this morning during our President's Council about this, we'll be visiting all of our institutions and the communities to share the strategic plan and to highlight how each campus contributes to the success of the regions in which they reside. So we're certainly looking forward to, and we'll be looking for board participation in those gatherings as well. In alignment with PPM 74 and the U.S. Department of Justice's final rule, the system is introducing a new digital accessibility policy to ensure that all websites, applications, and online services are inclusive and compliant with those rules. This policy establishes uniform standards and clear responsibilities across the system, reinforcing our commitment to accessibility, regulatory compliance, and an equitable digital experience for our students, faculty, staff, and all others who visit us digitally and online. Alyssa Coates has been leading this effort and doing a phenomenal job in collaboration with the web accessibility coordinators at our member institutions. Building on that work, another key initiative led by Alyssa, along with Dr. Katie Dawson and Ann McKisson, is our new website. The new website will be fully accessible and will feature a modern design that showcases our work and the communities we serve. This team has been working overtime to bring this project to fruition. I know many board members have expressed over recent times their desire to see a new website, and I promise you, Alyssa and team will not disappoint when this rolls out. Title IX Summit. We're also pleased to announce the 2025 University of Louisiana System Title IX Summit, a two-day experience bringing together professionals from across our system and beyond. This year's summit will focus on translating policy into practice by offering actionable insights, thought partnership, and timely guidance for those working to build safer, more supportive campus environments. The summit will be held November 6th and 7th, 2025, with sessions hosted at both Grambling State University and Louisiana Tech University. This collaboration between neighboring campuses provides a unique opportunity to engage with diverse perspectives, expand professional networks, and take away practical strategies to strengthen Title IX efforts. The next item, PPM on mental health. Mental health continues to be one of our top priorities across the UL system. We've updated the mental health policy to include Act 157, so students, if they choose, can provide a privacy waiver for information released during a mental health crisis. We've also added language to promote a culture of care and wellness for our faculty and staff, and I want to note this does not require board approval. It is simply an informational update. Mr. Chairman, I believe that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a few updates that I'd like to share before we conclude today's business. We are working very diligently in preparing for the presidential search for the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, and wanted to assure all of you that we are not at a point where we're ready to announce the formulation of the board and community members as a committee and the appropriate timeline. We will be making those decisions in the near future. Remember that an in-person ethics session has been arranged in conjunction with the October meeting this year. If you can attend that, please feel free to do so. Just remind you of your responsibilities to complete those required trainings. In Onboard, the 2026 calendar meetings has been placed under resources for your use. When you look at the Onboard, the dates will appear as upcoming meetings. Any questions, please feel free to get with the president or with myself. Our next meeting is scheduled for October 23rd here in Baton Rouge. So we look forward to a little break in time. I'm appreciative of everyone attending today and hope you have safe travels home. As we conclude today's meeting, we'll have a board development session on the 7th floor in the system office. We hope you're able to remain and join in that. There's no other business. May I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Supervisor Noble, second by Supervisor Salim.